Guys, it's going to be a controversial one. It's a Manchester United specific hot takes episode. There's a bunch of hot takes I've got loaded for you guys. So make sure you sit down. Make sure you let me know if you agree or disagree. But first, before we do anything, I want to thank each and every one of you who likes, who shares, who subscribed, who comments, who watches, even if you watch. Within 5 days, I've hit 1,000 subs. I don't think you lot are deep in how crazy that is. A brand new page. I just started it up, started uploading clips of me talking like this onto YouTube. 1,000 subs already. Guys, genuinely, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I've got 3 hot takes, right? This is something I wanted to do. Recommended by you guys as well. So please, as I mentioned in every single video, let me know what you want to see, because at the end of the day, I'm basically catering towards you guys and what you want to see. So this was actually recommended by a viewer. Shout out to you. They said, why not do a Man United hot takes video? So I said, okay, cool. I've got 3 right in the top of my head straight away. But before I get to those 3, I'm going to get to them. I put out a tweet. If you're not following me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter, because then you can interact. You can do stuff like this with me. You know, you can be in the video. I essentially said, filming a Man United hot takes video later, send in yours, all time and current, because it doesn't have to be about the current squad. It could be previously about signings, about the Sir Alex era. It could be about anything. And I'll read them out, which is what I'm doing. I am sticking to my promise. And it done pretty well, you know, like 47 replies. So thank you to everyone who engaged in that tweet. I guess we just get straight into it. I don't really want to waste time. I'm really excited for this. Talking about anything Man United is just... I love it. I love it, guys. So, let's get into it. Bruno is... Well, this is coming from United Chris. Bruno is severely overrated. He just looks good in a team of bad players. There's a reason why he doesn't shine for Portugal national team and is not disciplined enough for a system team. Okay, there's a few ways to dissect this. I don't think Bruno is overrated. I think Bruno has his limitations. I think Bruno has his weaknesses, and his weaknesses are very obvious. Whereas some other players, you know, they might be positionally weak, or they might be weak in other aspects. Bruno's weaknesses, you see them firsthand. Giving the ball away, getting frustrated, going for the long ball, trying to force stuff. You see it, it's very evident. Are his weaknesses highlighted more because he's in a bad team? I think you're looking at it as, you know, he's in a bad team, so he looks good. What if he's in a bad team, so he looks worse? Does that make sense? Maybe if you look at it from the other way. And then about the Portugal national team, there's a ton of players that don't turn up for their national teams. I don't necessarily put that on the player. I more so put that on the system and the coach. For example, you look at the Portuguese national team, you look at their best era, their best ever era. They handed it to my man in the Euros, who was playing horrible football, by the way. Yes, they won the Euros, but they're playing horrible football. And then they gave it now to Roberto Martinez, who wasted the Belgium golden era. So I don't really look at national team football too tough to judge a player's ability. Of course, it's nice if they can do it in both, if they can do it in every system. But I genuinely believe Bruno is head and shoulders above everyone in our team. I think in terms of ability, in terms of leadership, in terms of IQ. I mean, like I said, I've said this about Bruno before. When your teammates and your coaches, by the way, there's been a few coaches that have taken over at Man United that potentially, one might like Rashford, one might not. One might like Dalot, one might not. One might like this person, one might. They've all been unanimous on Bruno. We all love Bruno. So I think that's the biggest compliment for Bruno. I do understand the frustrations. Don't get me wrong. I've called out Bruno multiple times. I've been frustrated with Bruno Fernandes multiple times. Do I think we should have sold him? Part of me thinks yes, we should have sold him because it was a market opportunity. Just like we should take advantage of market opportunities bringing players in, we should also take advantage of market opportunities selling players. But I'm not disappointed that he's not left. I think Bruno is essential to this rebuild. I think he's essential to the team. I think we lack leadership anyways. And if we lost Bruno, we'll be in disarray, in all honesty, in the changing rooms. So I hear it, but I don't hear it. But yeah, I know Chris has been quite vocal about, you know, not liking Bruno. For me, listen, he's a Man United player, he's a Man United captain. I'm going to try and get behind him as much as possible. And I won't forget what he's done for us. And to be honest with you, looking at everything, put everything aside. Under Ten Hag, I understand the criticism 100%. Under Amorim, I genuinely think Bruno has improved his games. His weaknesses are less obvious now. I think he's still got weaknesses and you can still see them, but they're not as exaggerated as they were previously. So that's my 2 cents on that. But good hot take. I really like that hot take. in terms of it's out there. I like hot takes where it's like, I'm letting my balls hang. I'm going to say something crazy. I F with that. Next one, Harry, United Harry. We will never win or come close to the Premier League title with Bruno Fernandes starting every week. Damn, we got some Bruno haters, man. Listen, I think I've said this before. I think again, under Ten Hag, I said, even if we rebuild, even if we get players and we get a good coach and we do, if Bruno Fernandes is in our team, we are limited, we are capped. Then I looked at it again. Bruno Fernandes wins Arsenal the league. He just does. Bruno Fernandes wins Arsenal the league. Bruno Fernandes would play for Man City. Liverpool would love a player like Bruno Fernandes. I genuinely believe that. I genuinely believe Arne Slot would love a player like Bruno Fernandes. I think most teams in the world would love a player like Bruno Fernandes. The guy is reliable. He's Mr. Consistent in terms of being available every single week. So you're not having to adapt and change your system. We know how important centre-mid partnerships are, centre-back partnerships are, all that kind of stuff. So having Bruno reliable in your team every single week is a bonus. Like I said, his weaknesses were highlighted under Ten Hag. You couldn't convince me that we could win a league with Bruno. You couldn't convince me. Now, I've seen change. He's a changed man. I will give it to him. He's a changed man. I do see the reservations though. I do still think there is a cap on Bruno. He's gonna have to change certain parts of his game in order to break through that cap. I don't think it's undoable, by the way. And I know, like, listen, we're talking about winning the league, guys. We're not winning the league anytime soon. We're not winning the league anytime soon. So that's not an area of concern for me, because Bruno Fernandes, in all honesty, will probably leave Manchester United in about 3 or 4 years, tops. We're not winning the league in the next 3 or 4 years. So for me, it's a conversation and it's a debate that doesn't even need to be had, because it's not going to happen. You know, it's like, I don't know. It's a scenario that I'm not even considering. You know, we don't win the league with Bruno Fernandes. Brother, we're not going to win in the league anyways. So with or without Bruno. So that's my opinion on that. This one I'm going to have to be quite careful with, because I think he's showing some footage. Essentially, as you can see right there, it says, Diogo Dalot should be our starting centre-back. In position, he'd change our lives there. And he's put up this picture. I think I'm allowed to show the picture. There's no problem there. Centre-back and then a right centre-back. It shows aggressive marking, prepared to leave defensive line. And then a right centre-back. Honestly, I don't see this at all. I don't see Dalot working at centre-back at all. At all. Multiple reasons. Let me just go back up here. Multiple reasons. The main ones being, Dalot is defensively very, very liable. He's not reliable in defence. He's not the best at tackling. He's not the best. Forget tackling. Positionally, he's one of the worst. If we're being honest. How many times have you seen a cross come in when we used to play a back four? How many times have you seen a cross come in and Dalot would be in no man's land, or he would just get beat like that? Easy. Very, very easily. So to put him in a position where he has to play against a striker or against an inside forward or whatever it is, I would be scared. I would be absolutely shitting it. If you're saying in terms of a possession thing, or, you know, he presses, okay, cool. We can put a lot of players there. We can put, God knows, you could put a Mason Mount there. Like, you could do a lot. But defensively, as a centre-back, right centre-back, left centre-back, I don't care if he inverts into midfield. I don't care if he inverts into right wing. I don't care. I don't know. The fundamentals, the first thing you have to be good at is defensive ability. You have to be defensively complete. Or at least, you know, somewhat decent. Dalot's very, 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 very weak defensively, in my opinion. To play centre-back, very weak. One-on-one, he gets skinned sometimes. What we gain from that is minimal, and what we lose with Dalot on the as a wing-back or as a full-back, I think is too much. I'm not Dalot's biggest fan. I think I've voiced it. I think Dalot's limited. I think we should sell Dalot in the next year or two. His IQ is poor. His footballing IQ is poor. So you're to turn a right back whose footballing IQ is poor into a centre back, already I'm against it. But then we lose so much energy down that right hand side. We lose so much up and down energy. That's one thing I'll give Dalot. He tries and he's got an engine on him. We lose so much energy and so much width down that right hand side by playing him into right centre back. I don't think it's worth it. I think you've got to do a kind of like, what's it, like pros and cons, or like gain ratio, whatever it is. Essentially, we're losing more than we're gaining by playing him in that position, and a lot more, in my opinion. Let me scroll down quickly. Okay, got past it. Aiden Heaven is our second best centre-back behind Lenioro. Let's see, actually, what did people reply to this? If I go here. All I'm saying is don't sleep on Delict, bro. Lissandro plays golf. Okay. Aiden Heaven. Chill out, man. Martinez is beeping outside. I don't think he's our second best centre-back. I think this is a problem with Man United. We see a youngster come into the team. They play well. Suddenly they're, the second coming of Cristiano Ronaldo. They're the second coming of Jaap Stam, Rio Ferdinand, whoever. Like, let's relax. The guy came in for £1 million in January. He done a role. He done a job incredibly. I agree. I was really, really impressed with him. It was a role that he wasn't expected to do, because we weren't trying to push him into the first team that soon. I think he was gonna get eased in, drip feed him a little bit, minutes here and there. The way things worked out, he had to get included into the team. He's done amazingly well. Let's not kill the kid though. To say he's our second best. Now we're changing the expectation. He's gone in a matter of 6 months. He's gone from a £1 million 18-year-old that we signed from Arsenal, that we didn't have any expectations over, to now our second best centre back at Man United. I disagree. I don't think he's our second best centre back. I do think he's gonna. Amorim. I have a feeling Amorim loves him. I think he's comfortable in possession. I think he plays out the back really, really well, as in he progresses out the back really well. He's good with the ball. He's good in terms of passing and, like I said, retention and even dribbling. He looks comfortable on the ball because he used to play as a centre mid at Arsenal. So he's able to do both. And I think Amorim sees that, and I think Amorim likes that. And I would not be surprised if going into next season, and Amorim has done this before, by the way, he'll just promote a youth player and say, yep, go straight into the first team. I wouldn't be surprised if Aiden Heaven got a lot of minutes next season. But I've said it before, our defence is our best point right now. Like, we're so blessed in defence. You've got Yoro, you've got Heaven, you've got Lissandro still to come back. Hopefully, ACLs aren't easy to come back. Usually players aren't really the same. Let's hope he is. You got Delict, who still needs to prove a point, by the way. Still wants to prove a point, I'm pretty sure. Maguire, who had a little resurgence and is feeling like the man, rightfully so. You got Mazraoui, plays right centre back, can cover right wing back as well. So there's a few options in that position, and we're lucky. Please, let's not kill the kid. Let's not say he's our second best centre back. Please, let's lower the expectations. Let's treat him as he is, a £1 million signing, 6 months at the club, 18 years old. And let's have some patience with him, because now if he has a disaster the first 2-3 months, if it's a disaster and we've put him the expectations as second best centre back, we've killed the kid. There's no coming back. So yeah, let's just relax. But thank you from DZNER. Zinner. Anyways, Sana talks ball. Big up Sana. Hot take, the same way people became City fans in the City Dynasty Pep era is the same way a lot of people became United fans in the United Dynasty Ferguson era. I agree and disagree. I think City, you can't compare Manchester United as a club before Sir Alex Ferguson and Manchester City as a club before Pep. You can't, forget Pep, before Mancini. You can't compare the two. Manchester United was always a giant. Even Sir Alex Ferguson, when he came to Man United, we weren't performing well. And he said, this is a big club. This is a huge club, because at the time it was between Manchester United and Wolves. Wolverhampton Wanderers were better than Manchester United at the time, but Manchester United were bigger. And Sir Alex Ferguson came into Man United, took the job obviously because we were a bigger club, and said, this is a huge team, and they still think they're a huge team, but realistically, it's a mess. Realistically, the players are nowhere near good enough. Fast forward 50 years and we're still in the same position. 40 years, 20 years, 30, whatever it is, right? We're still in the same position. 80... 90, whatever, man, my maths is off, but you get my point. So no, I disagree with that. Listen, before Sir Alex we still had the Champions League. Before Sir Alex we still had the Busby Babes. Before Sir Alex we still had George Best. Before Sir Alex we still had Bobby Charlton. Before Sir Alex we still had Duncan Edwards. We still had all these huge players. So I disagree with that. Yeah, I think Man United, of course, the fan base exploded in size because of Sir Alex Ferguson, because the players that he nurtured and brought into the team, but I don't think it's the same at all. But thank you for submitting that. 2021-2022 Ronaldo starts for Manchester United 98-99 treble winning team. He started over Andy Cole because Dwight York had a better season than Andy Cole in the treble winning campaign. Andy Cole's Dwight York in general though. I don't know. That's neither here or there for me. I couldn't tell you. Thank you for the submission, but I mean, putting a player, a season where a player came in towards the end of his career, putting him in a treble team. You just don't know. You just don't know. I mean, Andy Cole and Dwight York are the duo. They are when you talk about duos in any walk of life, culturally, they've become the duo. You talk about rappers, you compare them to Andy Cole and Dwight York. You talk about a duo in a friendship group, you compare them to Andy Cole and Dwight York. They've become a cultural thing, even. That's how good of a duo they were. So I think putting Ronaldo in just takes that away. But then you can't sub Ronaldo because of, obviously, who he is. So, yeah. Wayne Rooney is a top 5 striker in the past 20 years. Okay, let me think. For me, I'm a huge fan of Rooney. Let me think. R9. Henry. Suarez. I need to think carefully here. I'm probably going to put... A lot of you might not like it. I'll probably put Zlatan and Rooney, yeah. I'll probably put Rooney. I rate Rooney so highly. You lot don't even know how highly I rate Wayne Rooney. Flipping out. That's a tongue twister. I love Rooney. I think he was one of the most complete players I've ever laid eyes on. As a striker, elite, had one season, scored... How many goals was it? Like 30 plus goals, and then said, yeah, I'm not enjoying this. Like, the only striker who doesn't enjoy being a striker. That's what Wayne Rooney is, because he just wants to see so much of the ball. He's the most pure street footballer I've ever seen in my life. Listen, if he's not top 5, he's definitely top 10. Let's just put it at that. Not a bad shout. I think we'll look back at the Europa League final as a blessing. Winning would have papered over huge cracks. Losing somewhat forces a clear out of deadwood for funds. One game a week with full focus on the league and cups, I think will do us the world of good. I'm not coping, I swear. Thank you to Sam for sending that in. Listen, I think winning the Europa League would have been a blessing, regardless. I think if we win the Europa League, we potentially get Dalot. Whether that's a blessing or not, by the way, is a different conversation. We definitely secure Gyökeres, I think. We attract a lot more players. The funds helps us a lot. But if you're talking as a pure footballing aspect, I said this before. I said it to Liban, I remember, I think privately or even on the pod. We have to hit rock bottom. We have to be stripped back of everything to know that this is where we start now. I agree. It would be papering over the cracks. We got into the Europa League over an FA Cup season, over an FA Cup win that papered over a poor Premier League season. So we papered over the cracks with a win. We were going to paper over the cracks with another win. And then we're probably going to do the same thing next season, where we go into the Champions League. And because we're in the Champions League, it looks like a decent season, but we have a poor Premier League season and probably affects our Premier League season. No, like, I don't want that. I want full focus on the league, 100%. I'm with you. I would never say that losing a final was a blessing, though. That's my stance on it. I understand where you're coming from, and I do think it potentially could be a blessing in that we have one game a week. We have to focus on that game. Amrim doesn't just dismiss the league now. Obviously, he came in where Europa League was everything. Now we have Premier League is everything. So we have to focus on the league. It done Chelsea good. When was it? When Conte came in, no? When did Chelsea miss out on the every European tournament? I can't remember the last time it happened, but I remember it happened, and I think they came back then the following season. So you know what? It could be a blessing in that sense, but yeah, I could just never say that losing a final is a blessing. Bruno's glued to the team. Selling him is not as great as people think. Yeah, I mean, that's the flip side of it. I don't think that's a hot take at all. I think, yeah. To be fair, it could be a hot take because I've seen a lot of Bruno hate recently. So, yeah, Bruno's essential to the team right now. He's integral to the team. We've done it before, by the way, where everyone was like, oh, Bruno needs to leave. Bruno's horrible. Bruno would miss one game, and we fall to pieces. If you think we look bad with Bruno Fernandes, take Bruno out of the team. We look horrible, unwatchable, a bunch of amateurs. That's what we look like. Right, CR7 at Ronaldo is overrated because it was the first time a global audience got to watch someone dribble and win games like that. He had access to PR, blah, blah, blah. Nah. I'm not having that at all. I'm sorry, football tangents. I'm not having that at all. Cristiano Ronaldo, 07-08 season. Wow. I'm not having anyone try and change history and tell me that that's overrated. Or it's because we haven't seen skills like that before. No. He turned into a machine. If anything, he toned down the skills that season. Cristiano Ronaldo, when he first came to Man United, was more skills than end product. He showed glimpses, but openly, Sir Alex and our teammates and his teammates would get frustrated and tell him, bro, you're doing too much. Sometimes just let go of the ball, bro. Like, what's wrong with you? It's not everyday showboating. So he tones it down, turns into a flipping monster, and we're saying we're using the showboating or the skills against him when he tones it down. I don't think so at all. I don't think so. Ronaldo in the Premier League, I think that's the best peak ever. 07-08 Ronaldo in the Prem. But greatest Premier League player is a different thing. We hindered Rashford's development and his potential. If he was in any other team, he would have been one of the best players in the world. His season, he was a Ballon d'Or level player. Imagine. What? His best season, he was a Ballon d'Or level player. Nah, I'm not having that, man. I'm not having that. No, he wasn't a Ballon d'Or level player, boys. I don't know what we're doing here, man. Hey, man, I love you and that, but thank you for submitting the hot take, but I think that's crazy. Rashford, Ballon d'Or level player in that season. No way. No way. And we hindered his development. Rashford hindered his development. I don't think we hindered his development. He played one good season under Ten Hag. Then the next season, he just couldn't replicate it for God knows whatever reason. The manager's still there. The system's still the same. Why can you replicate it? And it's not the first time with Rashford, by the way. Obviously, he had his breakthrough season. And then under Mourinho, he was, he wasn't the best. But we gave him the benefit of the doubt because obviously he was a young kid coming through the team. But when he really needed to be that guy, he just was. I don't think so. We'll see anyways when he goes to a different team. But I disagree. If we're offered 100 million for Kobe Mainoo, we should sell. Passing range isn't great enough to be 100 million pound. Okay. I don't think I agree with that. I like Kobe Mainoo. Yeah, I don't. I've already read. I just read this now, and I don't know. Yeah, I think we're doing too much, guys. Like Dalot right centre back, Mainoo now right centre back, and Euro CCB and a more defensive right wing. I don't know. If you know anything about Amram's system, a more defensive right wing back just makes no sense anyway. He doesn't want a defensive right wing back. He likes to play with wingers as his wing backs. So that nulls the argument anyways. Then Kobe Mainoo as a right centre back. Yeah, I don't know about that. Aiden Heaven should be a starter next season. Again, let's just not kill him. Bruno Fernandes has to leave the club in order for us to succeed and rebuild efficiently. I love the guy, but the money we could have got from Saudi would have been very supportive. You know what? I've heard this a lot about the money, would have been crucial for a rebuild. Blah, blah. Guys, 100 million or whatever we were going to get, 120 million, 150 million. Number one, in today's market, that's what, 2-3 players? That's the first thing. Are you going to replace Bruno with a like for like? If so, who? Because who was available on the market for that? And if you're going to, that's a 70 million pound player. That's a 60 to 70 million pound player. So, do we really want to replace Bruno like for like? That's the first thing. The second thing, I don't trust Ineos. I don't trust the Glazers. How much of that is going to go back into the squad? I don't trust them. I'd rather take the power away from them, the decision away from them. I'm not trying to do that. Man United needs to sign a midfielder before a striker. Nope. We need a striker. Goals win you games. We need a striker. We haven't scored. Our strikers combined have scored less than 10 goals or something. Like, it's ridiculous. We need goals. Football is a game of fine margins. We've lost so many games, or we've drawn so many games last season because we didn't have a striker. Facts. That's factual. So I don't agree. And a poor goalkeeper, by the way. Amram might not succeed with United, but he'll set the foundations for the next manager like Mourinho did at Madrid. Yeah, I mean, me and Abs had this conversation as well, that I said, even if Amram doesn't succeed, even if you guys don't like Amram or whatever, I promise you, he will do the ruthless decisions needed for the club to set up the next manager. He'll remove the deadwood. He'll remove the problems in the squad. Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho, he's removing them already. So, even if Amram doesn't succeed, one thing I trust Amram with is to be cutthroat. That's one thing I trust him with. So I agree with that. SDSFC star man and former Tottenham prodigy Keziah Sterling will start with Rasmus Højlund. Bro, listen, Keziah Sterling, you've changed my life. What a player! He's a better player than Højlund, 100%. Rashford had the potential to be the best Man United player ever. Guys, what are we doing here, man? Like, are we forgetting? Rashford, best Man United player ever. Rashford could never touch Ronaldo's levels. Rashford could never touch Rooney's levels. Rashford could never touch Giggs' levels. Scholes, Cantona, Beckham. He could never. He could never touch their levels. I don't know what we're doing. Are we forgetting who Rashford is? Had a breakthrough. Yes, this kid. Yes, he's the best. Whatever, blah, blah. Yeah, 100%. Rightfully so. Under Mourinho. Yeah. Sometimes okay, sometimes, inconsistent. He's a young kid. Let's let him off. Ole comes in. Yeah. He's good. That 2020 season, him and Martial, good. Okay, this is the Rashford we know. Yes, Rashford, you're great. Following season, oh, this is bad. This is terrible. Ten Hag comes in, first season. Yes, Rashford, our best player. Yes. Then poor again. Horrible. What are we doing here? He has 2 decent seasons. Let's say good seasons. And he could be Man United's best ever player. Guys, come on. Pogba should have ended up at top 5 midfield of all time. I said it on Barra Brothers. If Pogba's growth was linear, if he was to grow at the rate he was growing for the rest of his career, he would be the best midfielder of all time. The best midfielder of all time. 100%. What a player. But unfortunately, it just didn't work out. And I'll get to it in one of my hot takes. Bruno shouldn't be a starter. Nope, disagree. And Mbeumo only agreed because the only team that he would start for that wanted him is Man United and Tottenham. He starts for Newcastle. Newcastle in the Champions League. And you're telling me if Arsenal bought him, they wouldn't start him. Arsenal would find a way to start him. Arsenal would definitely start Mbeumo. Not over Saka, but they would definitely find a way to fit him in the team. Whether it be at the 9, whether it be at the right, left wing, whatever it is. Arsenal would have wanted Mbeumo 100% to start. Bruno winning a league title with us makes him top 10 United players of all time. A la Brian Robson. Yeah, but listen, we're far off. We're far off a league title right now. I don't even want to think about that. Aiden Heaven, again. Ineos are nothing but a cover for the Glazers until relegation project is finished by the time. Regeneration. Sorry, I don't know why I read that as relegation. My biggest problem with Ineos is that they kept the Glazers in. The opportunity was there to let the Glazers get out. Qatar were willing to buy 100%. They wanted to buy 100%. That was their terms and conditions. Ineos stopped that. Ineos gave the Glazers a way out to not sell the club. And that's my biggest problem with the Glazers, with Ineos. We have a serious chance for a good Prem run. I'm not thinking about that right now, honestly. I'm not. Will be the best? Rashford is the best player post Fergie. No, he's not. What are we talking overall? Are we talking peak? I don't think he is. I don't think he is at all. Zirkzee will get 20 league goals next season. No, I don't think he will. Zirkzee's never been a goal scorer. He's never been. So where are we getting this from? Guys, I hear it. Sometimes we hope and we expect and we're like, okay, I back him. And I love Zirkzee. I think Zirkzee is a great player. There's a great player in there. It's just, what type of player is he for Amorim? Is he a 10? Is he a 9? If he is a 10 or a 9, is he a substitute 10 or a 9? That's what's likely. You're telling me a substitute 10 or a 9 is gonna get 20 league goals next season, let alone one who doesn't get goals. He's never gotten goals. Historically. He's just not that type of player. Anyone who's ever watched Zirkzee in a United shirt, in a Bologna shirt, in Anderlecht, in Bayern Munich, you would know he's not a goal scorer. He's not a prolific goal scorer. He's never been that. It's like me saying, what the hell was that? Oh, it's my camera. I'm recording. That's like me saying, out of nowhere, Rasmus Højlund's going to get 20 assists. Has he even had one this season? I don't know. Sancho should stay at the club next season, as I believe it could be his redemption. No, guys, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? Sancho, why do people still believe in this guy? What's there to believe in? Oh, I'm not doing this. I'm not getting riled up over Sancho. I'm not doing that. Big 2025, people still think Sancho is good. I was saying it when Sancho was at United. Under Solskjaer, under Rangnick, then under Ten Hag, right? That season where we went away and we were coming back under Ten Hag, people were making comps about this guy. Sancho season, next season's his season. I said, you lot are silly. What's he shown you for it to be his season? What's he done? Since then, he's had a whole year off from Man United. He's had an argument with the manager, gone out on loan, disrespected the club, come back and people still want him to start. Come on, guys, man. We should play Bruno as a false nine and let Kobe go into... No, I don't agree at all. I think we need goals. We need goals. Bruno in a 9 doesn't guarantee us goals. We need a striker. I don't think there's any question about that. We need a goal. We need a goal getter. We need a prolific striker. We need a gunman. We need tall and fast midfielders. Yoro can be a midfield option next season. No, he can't. I don't know why we do this. I don't know why we try and make players do something they're not. Like, why? Yoro's progressing well at centre back. He's doing well at centre back. Why are we trying to make him a midfielder? Like, not even if it's not broken, don't fix it. If it's working well, why try and change it? Zirkzee with better players around him, explode next season. Really want him to. I want him to succeed here as well. I just don't think he's a starter for us. You could play up top instead of Højlund and perform better. 100%, 100 billion%, bro. Me as a target man over Højlund, 100%. If Man United can get a new number 1, Cunha and Boima on Gyökeres signings with decent 8 on loan. What? Oh, a decent 8 on loan. Man United win top 4 and win there. I'm not trying to think about next season, expectations for next season. I'm not trying to put us in any brackets or do anything. I'm not trying to do any of that. Højlund should be shipped to... Okay. United are better off investing all their money into the academy so they can produce top products. No, we're not a project team. Like, I hear project, and we should be investing into the academy for sure. And credit to Jason Wilcox and the team for doing that. You see it with Chido, you see it with Aiden Heaven, you've seen it with other players as well. They're actually going out and trying to get academy players or younger players that can break through for the first team. But we need players now. We're dying for players now. We're short of good players now. You can bring in 20 wonder kids. I still have to wait a good few years for those 20 wonder kids to come into the team. So it's not doing me any good right now. We need players that can perform right now, which is why you're seeing us go for Cunha and Mbeumo, for example, who are proven players who are about to hit their peak. So I think that's the type of fold we should be signing. Type of mold, sorry. Rooney is United's best ever signing. Debate there. I'd argue maybe Cantona, but yeah, it's the debate. Højlund just needs the right environment to be good, and when he leaves, United will succeed. I mean, a departure for Højlund is probably best for United and Højlund. I agree with that. Rooney didn't have a better season than Robin van Persie's debut. Depends. Goal scoring season is different to overall season. Robin van Persie is one of my favorite ever players, though. I'll say that now. United will be mid-table for the next 5 years. High wages and no success. And I won't get any better. Amrin will be sacked by the end of November. Yeah, I mean, Amrin being sacked is definitely an option that probably, if you're looking at history, it is probably the likely option. But I still have faith in him. I'm still backing him. And this is not me saying I think he will get sacked. I don't think he will. I'm just saying it's a possibility because it just happens so much with Man United as of recent. But no, I think Amrin will succeed. I do. I have a feeling. I could be proven wrong, but let's see how this summer goes. This summer will dictate everything. To be honest, I know I think he'll succeed out of faith, but using my head, I need to see what the summer says, and then I'll make my prediction. Ineos have a plan, and the fans lack the understanding to see what they're trying to do. I don't know, man. I think Ineos. I don't doubt that there is a plan there, and they have done some stuff really well. I don't doubt that. They've probably done stuff in the finance department. They've probably done stuff to the team. They've probably hired people in positions where they're actually good. But at the same time, they took the worst ever ownership ever. We're talking about the Glazers. They took the Glazers, who were obviously running us into the ground, and made us even worse. Somehow made us even worse. Ineos have done a lot wrong. Let's not try and protect them, please. Like, too much, anyways. If we get that attacking front three of blah, 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 we win the 2 trophies next... No, we don't. I don't know about 2 trophies. How are we getting 2 trophies? From 15th to 2 trophies? I don't know, man. Dalot... So you're basically saying FA Cup and Carabao. Dalot could work as a... No. As a centre-back, guys. Come on, man. So they put their target man on Dalot. We're cooked already. We're cooked already. Like, let's just think about it. If they were to just pin their striker on Dalot, we're cooked. Crosses coming into the box, we're cooked. I don't know what we're thinking here. Ronaldo 07-08 is the greatest individual season for a Premier League player in the history of the Premier League. Wow. Yeah. I think it's the best peak. 100%. Was the best shot put we've ever seen. I think De Gea had a good 2-3 years where he was the best goalkeeper in the world. I don't think that's crazy to say. Man United will win the Premier League within the next 5 years. I mean, that's what Ineos think. Ineos have a, plan 2028 or something around that, where they expect us to be challenging again. Listen, football can change very quickly. And I said this on my TikTok once, where people were coming out and saying, "Oh, rest in peace, Man United." This is some guy was crying on TikTok. I said, "Bro, like, get it together, man. Like, we've been through worse. Football can change very, very quickly." Leicester obviously came. I don't like this particular example, but Leicester obviously escaped relegation, went on to win the league. But more to that, Chelsea, I'm pretty sure they finished out of Europe. Next season, they won the league. There's stuff like this happens. Liverpool lost their Europa League final to Sevilla. A few years later, they win in the Champions League. Forget Europa League, Champions League. So stuff happens very, very quickly. Football can change very, very quickly. That's not me saying they will, but, stranger things have happened. Bro, can you tell us anything? Oh, well, yeah. Jad will speak on that in his own time, I'm pretty sure. But yeah. Any additional replies? Offensive. We will win the CL before we win the PL. Brother, let's try and get into the Champions League. That's a crazy take. Ronaldo is the best Man United player ever. People saying it's because... Okay, there's a difference. Ronaldo might be the best Manchester United player ever. Rooney might be the greatest Manchester United player ever. There's two different things. Best is their peak. As a player, they were the best player to ever play for Manchester United. Greatest is what they contributed to the team, the club as a whole. It's the longevity you were there for. It's the goals you scored as a whole. Rooney's our greatest ever goal scorer. He's the highest ever goal scorer. Therefore, automatically, you'd put him above Ronaldo, because when you think of Wayne Rooney, you think Manchester United. When you think of Cristiano Ronaldo, you think more Real Madrid. So Rooney, for me, is the Man United's greatest ever player, but Ronaldo is probably our best ever player. I hope that makes sense to everyone. I've got more notifications here. Let's see if... Is there any more? Not really hot take. Yeah, okay. There's some more stuff, so let's go through them. Let's just refresh it quickly. Kobe will have his best season after adapting his body to his... his body and this new system. I still think Kobe's got a role to play at Man United. I think there hasn't been much talk about him leaving, which is good. If anything, it's kind of been like squashed. Like, we're saying that he's not going to leave. So I think Kobe will have hopefully a good season next season. Hopefully he's injury free, and hopefully you could just push on, man, because I really, really, really want Kobe Mainoo to succeed, man. Really do. Is there any way to... There is, right? How do you sort this? Say hello, you can't. Oh, latest. There you go. Well done, Twitter, man. X. Sorry. Oh, there isn't. Okay, cool. Fairs. It was just that one. Now, for my hot takes. What are my hot takes? Now, I kind of went through a lot of yours, so I'm going to keep mine fairly brief. I've got 3. Do I have 3 or do I have 4? I might have 4. Let's go through a few. My first one. You know what? Let's stick to 3. I'm going to go with an underrated player. Someone I really think didn't get his props, didn't get his flowers. I believe that Romelu Lukaku was underrated at Manchester United. Let me explain. What do I want from my striker? Okay, it depends how you look at football. I look at football somewhat old school. 2 positions I need consistency from. There's 2 positions I need absolute consistency from. My striker and my goalkeeper. That's 2 things, that's 2 players that we haven't had at all consistency from this season. And that's what frustrates me. Imagine how much that frustrates me. My striker isn't scoring, my goalkeeper isn't saving. So I hate that. I despise it. Lukaku would guarantee me goals. Lukaku would get me 20, 25 goals in the Premier League. He just would. I think that's an underrated trait in a striker. Go back before Lukaku, 10, let's say 13, 14 years. We had a striker called Ruud van Nistelrooy, the man who made me support Manchester United. I support Manchester United because of Ruud van Nistelrooy. Why? Ruud van Nistelrooy wasn't the flashiest striker. He wasn't the flashiest player. He wasn't the most skilled or, complete or well-rounded. He was a striker that got us goals. Every time I would watch Manchester United, I see his name on the score sheet. Every time I watch Manchester United, I see this guy running off and celebrating. That, for me, is what I want from my striker. If Ruud van Nistelrooy played in this era, they'd call him a tap-in merchant. They say he's not good for anything except tap-ins. That's what this era has become. So I feel for Lukaku. Is Lukaku a great football player? Probably not. Let's be honest. He's got deficiencies. 100%. But there's certain things you can't say about Lukaku. You can't diss about Lukaku. The first is that he gets you goals. He will definitely get you goals. The second is that when you need someone to throw their body around, when you need a presence, when you need a disruptor in that box, Lukaku's that guy. And the third is that his IQ as a striker, his movement as a striker was great. In my opinion, Lukaku's movement as a striker was great. You could tell he studied the game. You could tell he studied certain players and their movements and their runs. Lukaku had his bread and butter. You give the ball to him, he backs into the defender, backs in, turns and shoots and scores. And we've seen it multiple times in an Everton shirt, in a Chelsea shirt, in a United shirt. We saw it. I think Lukaku's tenure at Man United is severely underrated. I think it aged poorly. Oli came in, played him on the wing a little bit, weirdly, and obviously got rid of him. Shipped him off to Inter, won the league at Inter. Now, still going with Napoli and won the league with Napoli. Lukaku gets goals. He just does. What I loved about Ruud van Nistelrooy was the IQ, was the movement, was the pure just hunger. The hunger to get goals. The ruthlessness to get goals. I'm not saying Lukaku's that. I'm not saying he is that level. But I just think his tenure at Man United, like I said, is underrated. It's not appreciated. It's aged poorly. And I don't think a lot of people even remember him. I don't think he's mentioned when we talk about, our strikers we've had, our best strikers we've had over the past 10, 15 years. Because we've had some good ones. Sometimes I even forget him. I'll talk about Van Persie. I'll talk about a Cavani. I'll talk about Falcao even, like just the names. But we don't really talk about Lukaku often. So that's my first. Now, going from an underrated player to an overrated player. I believe, now hear me out, I believe that Paul Pogba's time at United was severely overrated. What do I mean? A lot of you might look at it and be like, Hussein, of course, like what the hell, what? That's not even a hot take. And a lot of you might look at it like, bro, are you serious? He was our best player. Now, for those who are saying that he was our best player, that we didn't utilize him well, that we didn't appreciate him enough, that he'd walk into our team now, etc. Okay, cool. I've said it. I said it before in this video. If Pogba's growth was linear, he would be the best player, the best midfielder of all time. Not player. He'd be the best midfielder of all time if his growth was linear. Unfortunately, when we signed Pogba, I had this idea, this picture. Rightly or wrongly, I had this picture. We're signing the most expensive player in the world at the time. A young player who, attribute-wise, is complete. Pogba could defend. He could dribble. He could score. Long range, short range. Passing, skill, stamina, strength, speed. He had it all. He had every single component you needed to succeed. If I was building an ideal midfielder, I would build Paul Pogba. Why didn't it happen? Why didn't it work out? When we signed Pogba, I thought we were securing our midfield. I thought we've got our midfield general. We've got our maestro. We've got a guy now. That's it. What I didn't know and what people later started saying, oh yeah, but you haven't unlocked Pogba. What does that mean? Yeah. He needs a Vidal and a Pirlo next to him, and then you unlock Pogba. I'm sorry, if you need other players next to you to unlock you and to make you a good player, or to make you hit those levels, those high levels that we expect from you, you're not a great player. In my eyes, you're not a great. A great player should be able to do it in multiple different systems and multiple different teams. Even someone like a Bruno Fernandes right now, you still see performances from Bruno where you're like, wow, this guy, man, he's really like playing with duds, but he's doing everything he can. Sometimes I just wish Pogba just took the game like that. And don't get me wrong, you're probably going to give me instances, 1 or 2, 3 games, but give me 10, I don't care. It didn't happen as much as I would have liked it. Injuries hindered that. I won't argue that. Injuries did. I won't deny it. But also antics here and there. Agent stuff. I'm not talking about the dancing. I don't care about all that kind of stuff. Just the antics with the agents, with the rumours. That kind of stuff didn't help him. I do feel for for Pogba. I think we had a part to play, by the way. I don't think the way we treated the whole situation was great. Different managers, chopping and changing, playing him on the left, playing him as a deep holding midfielder, then moving him up a little bit. I don't think, listen, we should have built the team around Pogba, realistically. Pogba, by the way, let me just put it out there, is a player that you should sign those other players to complement him, because when he does unleash his full potential, he's scary. He's so scary. But at the same time, we weren't really in a place where we could sign those other, because we had other priorities. We had, wingers that we had to bring in. Our centre-backs were shambles, our full-backs. So I see it on both sides. I just don't like this whole story that is fully on us, that is fully on Manchester United, that we ruined Paul Pogba. Yes, we had a part to play, 100%. I don't think it's fully on us. And I don't think that we saw the best of Paul Pogba, because apparently we needed players to hold his hand. That's my second hot take. Not to take away from anything from Paul Pogba, by the way. I genuinely believe he's an amazing player. And I wish we saw the best of him at Man United. I really, really do. Okay, third one. Final one for today. Let me know, by the way, guys, if you'd like to see more of this type of video, and like I said, what other videos you want to see, because this video was recommended by, obviously, a viewer. So, third one. You're going to have to hear me out. You're really going to have to hear me out. Footballing-wise, performance on the pitch-wise, we have improved under Amorim from Ten Hag. Now you're going to have to hear me out. What do I mean? Firstly, I'm going to myth bust this whole thing that, we were X amount of points when Ten Hag left and he had us in a decent position. Okay, cool. There was only a small amount of games played, right? There was only a small amount of games played. There were only so many points available from those games. So if we were 6 points off, for example, top 4, if we were 7 points off top 4 under Ten Hag, that's only because there was a small amount of games played. So in essence, someone below us, 3, 4, 5 places below us, might have still been as well 6, 7, 8 points off top 4 as well. Does that make sense? Cool. So that's to say that if we carried on with Ten Hag, we could still be in this position. We could still be where we are now. That's the first point. Second point, Ten Hag didn't win a Europa League game. We were unbeaten, but Ten Hag didn't win a Europa League game. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe he won a Europa League game this season, or the season that just went. Under Ten Hag, we didn't. I think we got our first win under Van Nistelrooy. And then, of course, Amorim comes in. So Ten Hag wasn't coaching wins. He wasn't. Now, forget all the metrics and all that kind of stuff. One more, actually. Our expected position last season, when Ten Hag was survived the full season, our expected position was, I think, 14th. We ended up finishing, 8th, 9th, whatever it was. If you watch some of those games, we relied on moments of brilliance from players, from individual players. How many times did Bruno score a screamer to get us out? How many times did Dalot score a screamer to get us out? How many times did Kobbie Mainoo score screamers to get us out? Garnacho. These are all Rashford. These are all players that would just have one moment of brilliance. And we're like, thank God, man, we needed that. We desperately needed that. So we were expected to finish 14th that season under Ten Hag. This season we finished 15th. So he's brought in more players to suit his system, and we finished one place below. Now, of course, Amorim got rid of Anthony. He got rid of Rashford. He got rid of firepower, and the club didn't really back him. They just brought in Patrick Dorgu. He had a bunch of players that weren't fit enough to play the last manager's system, were bought for the last manager, weren't fit enough to play his system, and he's coming with a completely new system. So I say all of this to say we might not have improved under Ten Hag. We might have even have finished below. Now, let's put all the numbers aside. Let's put all the metrics aside. Let's put all the stats aside. The eye test. I'm watching the games. You're watching the games. What was happening under Ten Hag? The midfield was nowhere. The ball would either be in their box or in our box. For the neutral, it was amazing. We'd shoot, they'd shoot. We'd shoot, they'd shoot. Midfield, forget about it. It was either getting overrun or you just don't see it. Ten Hag was getting outclassed, tactically embarrassed. Time and time again. How many times did Ange embarrass Ten Hag? How many times did Klopp embarrass Ten Hag? Do you remember when Slot came in early this season to Old Trafford and basically told us a breakdown of how he dismantled Ten Hag's system? Yeah, they just play out to their wing backs or their full backs. So we just put our wingers on there to intercept and we got the ball. How many times? I'm watching the game. Guys, we're watching the game. The ball is getting played out the back, intercepted, we go straight away. And we're like, we can't. We can't. There's no method to get from A to B. Under Amrim, there seems to be that a little bit more. That's on one angle of watching it. The other angle, how many shots were we conceding each game? We were conceding over 20 shots every single game. It was a joke. It was an absolute joke. Watching football under Ten Hag, I was biting my nails. I was like, this is horrible. Habibi, 3 shots in like a minute. We're conceding sometimes genuinely. We'll try to play it out, intercepted, shoot. Then try again, intercepted, shoot. It was horrible. Under Amrim, at least I see something. He came in and he said, you're going to see an idea. Habibi, thank you. I've seen an idea. At least I've seen that. I can say I've seen that. Given better players, potentially we see more. But I've seen the idea. I've seen at least movements. This is where we want the ball to go here. When we're playing at the back, we want it to go here. There seems to be a method to get from A to B. We just can't finish. We can't create. Amrim's biggest flaw so far in his system, it could be due to players, of course, is that I'm watching us, and yes, we have the ball. Yes, we don't concede that many chances. But I also don't feel like we're going to score. I just don't feel like a goal is coming. And that, for me, comes down to just the players. Rasmus isn't making the right runs. The players behind him, maybe they're trying to go too wide. They're trying too hard. Whatever it is, I'm not going to get into the tactics of it because I don't know. I don't think a lot of people know. I think a lot of people pretend to know, but they don't know. I'm just saying, on the eye, we have improved as a team. We're harder to break down, in my opinion, as a team. We look more secure as a team under Amrim than we did under Ten Hag. Guys, I'm open for conversation on this channel. That's one thing you need to know about me. If you say anything with respect, I will 100% reply. I've showed it multiple times on the previous videos. Let's have a chat. Let's have some discourse around this. It could be about any of the previous, obviously, hot takes that I've mentioned. It could be about these hot takes that I've mentioned right now. Let me know your thoughts. Let's comment. Let's talk. Let's communicate. Like the video. It would mean the absolute world. You guys are absolute legends, genuinely. 1,000 subscribers in like 5 days is insane. It's insane work. Please help me grow the channel. I want to get as much content as I can out for you guys. I'm a busy guy, but I do try my best. So like, subscribe, join the family. You know, we're going through pain together. Let's grow as a community. I will be introducing some streams soon, hopefully some live streams on YouTube. And I will see you very soon